Hey guys, welcome to the Saturday live stream. It's May 26, 2018. This is number 5 that we're doing. Let me get started. Let me get on the computer real quick. Hope everybody's having a great day. Has to wait a little bit before it pops up. There it is. All right, we got a first question really quick. What's my view on shock collars? Bad. You don't need to hurt an animal to get them to listen to you. Hello from England. I'm going to come back to that question. That'll be the first question I answer. Hello, Ohio, Georgia, New York. Gecker as much. Oh, I have to go back to the original question. I'm just going to wait till the channel builds up a little bit. Just want to wish everybody a happy Saturday. Hopefully everybody's doing good. We're in Florida, so there's a tropical depression, Alberto, and that formed in the, hello Moscow, and that formed in the Gulf, which is our first named storm. It's still a tropical depression, tropical storm. So during this live stream, I will be giving out anybody who lives in like Texas, New Orleans, and those areas, even New York got a hurricane, what to do, because now is the beginning of hurricane season, and now is the time to get ready, not after a hurricane is about to hit. That's not the time to get ready. But I'll be getting into that in a little bit. We have plenty of time. All right, let's get back to the questions. Again, hopefully everybody's having a great Saturday. Somebody asked, hi, and this is from Single Cell. Hi, what's your view on shock collars? I don't believe in them. I think it's a torturous way to have a family member / pet respond. If you can't control the animal to where you have to use a shock collar, then something went wrong somewhere, and that's something's wrong, and it shouldn't be a pet if it's that aggressive. If you're just using it to train, there's a lot better way to train an animal than a shock collar. That, I am totally against those. Positive reinforcements. I understand certain animals can get aggressive, but again, if you can't control the animal, then it needs to find a home or somebody who can, without force, because all you're doing is really upsetting the animal in a negative way. So it's going to act accordingly, and remember that. So I do not recommend shock collars at all. So that's not something. I believe in positive reinforcement. And sometimes you do get the, like Loki and foxes and cats sometimes, you have to trigger them out of, and even dogs, trigger them out of the mentality that they're in. So spray bottle, a can of air, somebody suggested, which is actually a great idea, because their train of thought is, I want this. I'm not going to stop till I get this. Well, guess what? If you trigger them to change their thinking into something else, they'll completely forget what they wanted. Of course, you move it out of the equation afterwards, but you don't want negative, hurting the animal is what I'm trying to get at. All right, so let's get on. Hello. Hello. Alibab's Marlin from England. Hi from Georgia, Ohio, New York, Norway. We're all over the world today. Texas. Stormy motion. We'll get into hurricanes in Texas because we're just getting out. South Carolina, England, Massachusetts, Nick Wild. Like I said last time, you're an awesome pet parent. Love the way you do things. The right way. Thank you very much, Susan. Thank you very much. I try my hardest to not only, I would treat my animal like I would treat a family member, my mom or anybody else, with kind, compassion, and that's how everybody should be. They make mistakes. They understand what's going on, but they really can't communicate and tell you, hey, I don't feel good, or guess what, I'm going to do this. It's just a matter of just giving them love, and you get love back in return. We got somebody in Washington, Death Eyes, Mary Ives in Texas, Arkansas, Leslie. Okay. And we have somebody in Greece, Hope. Hope is in Greece. While we get more questions coming, what does the fox say? I got that question. There's a couple of videos. Polk County, Florida. That's about 3 hours away. I've been there. Very nice town. Stoke 2 is from the UK. There was a question I passed. Hold on. I should write a book on how to train your fox. Well, I'm coming out with videos. And most of you know I'm getting TYR, which is why we're on this channel. And it's going to be more documented than Loki. Loki, if you knew, I didn't film him for the first pretty much 3 years of his life. It was just trial and error. I wasn't into social media at all. Now I am, and I see the need for people to understand what a fox is. Not just a cute, cuddly pet that I'm going to have and he's going to behave great. No, it's going to be a little menace, and they have to be, our thinking has to change on handling them, not their thinking. They can't change their thinking. They're a fox. They're engineered and wired a certain way, and with that said, we're the ones that have to adapt to them. Like I've always said, if you have a fox and you have a dog or a cat, it's not up to the fox to get along with the dog or the cat. It's the dog or the cat accepting that they're going to get along with this fox that's going to torment them half the time. Not torment them, but you know what I'm saying. They play rough. They always want to play. They always want to get into something. So it's about the human changing their thinking and the way they act and respond to certain things. And a lot of the times people would respond in an angrily or negative way if the fox peed on their floor. Well, guess what? You're not going to stop them from doing that. So I don't care how much you scream, yell, never hit again, they're still going to do it. Once they get out of that phase, then you have a good animal. They're always a good animal. I take that back. Now you have an animal or a family member that's going to be a little bit more in tune with the family, but it takes them about a good 3 years, maybe 4, before they become fully adjusted. Everybody's used to dogs and cats. Well, cats, litter box, they're litter box trained right off the bat. But then they start marking if they feel threatened, if they see another cat outside. So there's a whole way of thinking of it based on the animal, but everybody tries comparing foxes to dogs, mainly. They have more cat characteristics, but they're still a fox, and they also have the dog characteristics. It's a matter of how do you react when something happens beyond your control. And getting angry, getting upset. I mean, yes, you do get upset. Why would you pee on my carpet? But fox is going to look at you and go, because I did. And you can't really do anything about that. There's no training him out of it except the, again, positive condition. If he pees on the floor, you put a litter box. So he can't be there again. If he does, it's going to be in his litter. If he poops, you grab the poop, you take it, you put him in his cage, and you take the poop and you put it in the litter box, and you show him, no, this is where it goes. And it's all about the training, which you don't have to do with a cat, hopefully. Let's get back here. When is the new fox coming? When are you getting my new little buddy? I'm not sure. It's going to be June, maybe end of June, depending on when he was born. I'm not calling to find out because I'm sure they have their handfuls and they have enough on their hands with the foxes, and I don't need to be a burden. So I will be reaching out to them in about 2 weeks or a week, next weekend, and just seeing if I can get a type of update. With baby Arctics, they're a lot more prone to their longevity once they're born is not that high. The mortality rate is high on them, a lot higher than the reds, silvers, platinums, marbles. So until they reach 10 to 11 days old, it's not for sure if they're going to live. They have large litters. They can have litters between 8 and 16 to 18 per litter. That's a lot to take care of. So the mortality rate's high when you only have a certain number of feeding tubes, if you know what I mean. And you can only feed 8. Well, guess what? Out of those, something has to happen. Either another fox comes in and takes care of it, or they die. Or they take turns. I'm not a fox breeder, so I don't really know. But I will be getting TYR at the mid or end of June. Maybe beginning of July, I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. As soon as I get any update, I will be posting it on the channel. If I do hear something like, let's say after the live stream and they call me, I will be posting a video saying, hey, this is what's going on. I want to keep everybody involved in the channel, just like I can't wait either. I'm in the same boat as you guys. Whatever I know, I tell you guys. So we're shooting for mid to end June. And let's, again, keep our fingers crossed. Let's hope for the best, and that's all we can do. Just stay positive. Hi, Pauline. How you doing? Say hi to Mom. Be careful with the storm. So everybody in Florida and everybody in the coast, right now it's a tropical depression. We all know that storms for hurricanes, and I know a lot of people might not get hurricanes in the part of the country that you're in or the part of the world that you're in, but a tropical depression, tropical storm, even a Category 1, you always have to be careful. The flooding is the worst, and storm surge. If you have a high wind hurricane, you'll get a lot of storm surge because the winds are going to be pushing up the water into the coast. You get a 100-mile-an-hour wind, it's like you getting a puddle of water going and blowing on it. That water is going to move. It's the same thing that happens, but with the ocean. As far as wind speeds, for us, at least for me, it's a walk in the park. That thing can hit us directly, and all it's going to do is rain. I'll bring my plants in that I don't want to fall over just in case. But anybody who is in the hurricane area, or because we're just starting hurricane season, please, now is the time to do something. In other words, now, go get 6 5-gallon gas cans. Guess what? They're $10 to $15 now. They're not $35 or $40 right before a hurricane. There's going to be a lot available. Get your batteries, get the flashlights. Everything is cheap right now, and everything is available because people wait for the last minute. Any type of storm that's going to hit, yes, we have 5 days before we either have to leave or batten down the hatches, but everybody scrambles. You know what? It can't hurt. Go get 6 pieces of plywood at $10 right now. There's not going to be a line. You store them in the back. You spent $50 on plywood. Guess what? If the storm doesn't come, build a doghouse. Or give it to a neighbor. It doesn't matter. It's getting prepared and not stressing out right before the storm hits. I already have 6 5-gallon gas cans. Well, what am I going to do? As soon as the first hurricane actually hits, I'm going to go fill them up with gas. Why? I'm going to have 25 gallons of gas. And this is what I did with last year's hurricane gas. I used it for the generator. The ones I didn't need, you know what I did? The guys that come cut the lawn, I said, look, anytime you come cut my lawn, use my gas, fill up your lawnmowers, and it doesn't go to waste. It's something that you have just in case. You can always put it in your car, give it to somebody. It's about giving and helping somebody else out. Go buy 25 to 30 cans of tuna. I'm going to do that this weekend. I'm going to buy 20 to 35 of the packs of tuna. 10 packs of the tuna. I think they come 6 each. Put them in the cupboard. Get some soup. Put them in the cupboard. It doesn't go bad. Get everything now before the emergency hits. I already have 3 cases of water. Guess what? I'm going to go get another 4 cases of water, or 5. I'll have water for the rest of the year, which I just finished running out of the hurricane water from last year. It doesn't go bad. Keep it in a nice cool spot, no direct sunlight for the water in the plastic. That'll just contaminate the water, and you don't want that. All right, that's a tangent on the hurricane for now. I just want everybody ready, just in case, because they say we're going to have a bunch of storms this year. I'm watching and eating with Loki, rest in peace. Aw. Everybody loved Loki. I love Loki. All right, let's see. Hello from the UK, Jude. I already read that one. Washington, hello. Arkansas. Polk City, okay, I already saw these. Hello, you're right around the corner. We got one from Germany, Dewey. Thank you. Oh, just scrolled. Hold on, I gotta go back. Hello from North America. I feel you on that one. Hello, Russia. You're here every week. Arkansas. Arkansas. I thought it was Arkansas. Arkansas. Okay, so now I know. Pensacola. Oh, have I been to Pensacola? I've driven by Pensacola. Tampa. Tampa, you're going to get a little wet. More wet than we are. Because I think it's going up the right to Gulf, so we're all going to get drenched though. So when are you getting the Fox? I already answered that one. United States of America. California, Florida. All right, now I'm going to start scrolling down to the questions. When am I getting TYR? I just answered that at the end of June, mid to end of June. More thumbs up. Team Loki, gotta love Team Loki. I don't have an exact date on when I'm getting them. I will, again, as soon as I get any information, I will be responding and letting everybody know. Watching your video of struggling to fit a harness on Loki. Is there a reason why Loki didn't have a collar so you can take him outside? Well, foxes and collars, you can have a collar, but they'll slip out of it. Their faces are shaped differently than a dog. And it's not safe. If a dog comes off the collar, you'll have a good chance of kind of reaching over and grabbing him. If a fox comes off the collar, it's not going to be too good of a scenario because they're normally spooked. They don't like walks. They just might run. Hopefully they'll hide under a bush and you can get them out of the bush or a tree. But normally you would want a harness and a collar, and you get this, it's a type of leash that has two hooks. You hook one to the leash, you hook one to the collar as a precaution, which I am going to be doing with TYR. I am going to be doing it with TYR. And yes, TYR is going to get a collar, but TYR's not going to get a collar till he's about a month old, so he's with me for about 2 months. Why? When they're that small, you don't need a collar. They're not going to run away. They're not going to get lost to read the collar. But they might choke themselves with it. They get the little paw stuck in the collar trying to scratch it. They don't know what it is. At that early of an age, I would not recommend a collar for a fox, even though they look precious with it. But I will be training him on a harness. I'm going to probably find a harness that's like this big to put on his little body, just so he gets used to the comfortness of having the collar and then taking him out on a shoestring of a leash. The leash is probably going to weigh more than him. And I'm going to get him used to it very young. Wow, it's coming down. It hasn't stopped raining since like 9 o'clock this morning, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's what I'm saying. Be careful with the flooding, because you might think, oh, it's just raining, it's a hurricane, or it's a tropical storm, but you have 2 feet of water, then your car gets stuck. And that's not safe for anybody. All right, sorry. Back to the collar. Squirrel. Loki never had a collar. I never saw the need, since he was inside almost all the time, and when I would take him out, I'd take him out on a harness. Because again, the first 3 years of his life, I lived in a condo, nobody knew I had a fox, so he was inside. Now that I live in a house, I can take him out the front door, they know I have him, it's a completely different setup. I am going to be putting a collar on him and a harness, and when I do walk him, he will have both, but this isn't after, till about 2 or 3 months, then I'll put the collar on him, so he'll have a little collar, knowing he's not going to get stuck in it or choke himself on it, because there was a case where a little baby fox in his cage did something, the collar got stuck on the cage, and he hung himself by mistake. Tragic, tragic. So we're gonna be doing good here on the collars and the harness. Hello from Holland. When does TYR arrive? That's from Kristen. End of June, mid to end of June. Why did Loki like eating your laptop function keys? That is from Tails to the tailed fox. It wasn't that he just liked the function keys. It's like he just liked stealing anything that was mine. Anything I would have. In the beginning, I could not have the remotes on the table. I had to put the remotes up high by the TV because this one doesn't have it. But like the old Comcast remotes had the on-demand button. For some reason, he loved the on-demand button. He would just chew it. By the time I caught him, thank God he would drop the on-demand button, but he liked chewing and eating. So he would try to chew the on-demand button and try to swallow it. Then, of course, I'd grab a cherry from the fridge and throw it to him. He'd drop the on-demand button because he liked the cherry a lot better. So, but yeah, he'd come up to the keyboard on my laptop, and I'm actually missing the F2 key, which he ripped off. I still have it. I just can't put it back on. But foxes are very curious. Foxes like to steal. That's just part of their nature. That's why, again, my house is a train wreck because I've been working a lot. I have not had a chance to actually start properly cleaning. I'm still doing certain type of work. I mean, I'm fully blown on the foot. I got the shoe. I'm walking a lot better, even though it's very uncomfortable to walk because I have 2 bones that the joint's supposed to be there. Well, I don't have a joint anymore. Joint came off, and the bones are going up and down on my foot. So when I step, I feel the bones moving, so it feels weird, and it makes me limp. It doesn't hurt, it just feels so weird. So I'm getting used to walking again, but it's doing better, just in case anybody wanted to know. I love that you rescued Loki from a fur farm and how are you educating people on the nature of foxes. Yeah, Loki was a special case. I actually got him from a pet store. They got him from a fur farm, which I found out afterwards. Just fell in love with him as soon as we saw him, little baby Loki with a little white paw. And he turned out to being what you guys know him as right now, Loki the Red Fox. Are there any vaccinations that a fox needs that differs from a dog or a cat? Thank you for that question, Pauline. No, foxes are canines. So in that scope of things, they need the same type of vaccinations as a dog. But the thing is, the rabies, they give them a lot less weight rabies, if that makes sense, than a dog. The distemper has to be, well, this is what was told by my vet. There might be other people that know differently or have had different scenarios, but this is what was told to me by my vet. And for the distemper, they get ferret distemper. Because if they give them canine distemper, they will get distemper. It's just too much for them because their bodies are a lot fragiler or smaller in that of a dog, even though they are a canine. He was on cat flea and tick and heartworm. The only reason for the cat flea and tick and heartworm is because foxes get ear mites, which dogs don't, are prone to more, the ear mites they get are more prone to cats instead of dogs. So in order to prevent that, he was on feline heartworm, flea and tick. But besides that, the vaccinations are pretty much the same. It's just the different dosages that you have to give a fox as opposed to a dog. You can't treat them like a dog. That's why you take your fox to a legitimate exotic animal vet that has treated foxes and studied foxes. That's where the research also comes in. If I'm going to get a fox, where am I going to take this little booger? Because something's going to happen. They need to treat them the right way. Know what antibiotics, not tranquilizer, but anesthesia to give them. The vets I go to, or the vet that Loki went to, they give their animals human anesthesia. It's a gas. It's not an injection. I personally don't like the injections because, like the old school injections, if you give them too much, oh, they're waking up, give them some more. It might affect the animal's brain because it actually is going through their bloodstream and up to their brain to get them to calm down or go to sleep. With the mask, yes, it still goes to their brain, but once you take that mask off, within 5 minutes, that anesthesia is completely out of their system. If they give them an injection, that anesthesia is still in their system for the next couple of hours. They'll just wake up in a groggy state, which is why you see some of the videos of the dogs acting all funny once they leave the vet, because they're still a little banged up or under the influence, and it's funny, but you got to remember, do you want your dog being that messed up? I mean, that's why I like the human anesthesia. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. They both work. Some vets go with the injection. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong. So I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just giving my opinion on asking my vet, hey, what kind of anesthesia do you use for the animals? Oh, you use human anesthesia? Okay, you use the gas? What kind is it? Is there somebody monitoring the anesthesia? Not just put it on, there you go, because there has to be a certain level of oxygen to anesthesia, which I think is a 5 to a 6 on the scale for the little, no, that's wrong, I forgot what the other scale was. But talk to your vet, see what they use. I mean, again, it's all just to take care of the animal. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any vet, with whatever they're doing. That's why they're licensed vets. They go to school for this. I am not a licensed doctor. I'm just saying this from my personal opinion. That's it, just in case. I don't want to get any hate mail. Americans are very funny people just like that. I didn't remember that. I didn't see the first comment. Love the video. Don't eat the couch. No eaty. You can scratch on it. And that was from Dee-Wee, yeah. Loki and the couch covers. He loved hiding under those things. Well, we're going to see what TYR's like and what TYR does with the couch covers. I might leave these just because they have Loki's scent. And they have, like the floor still has Loki's scent. There are certain still things in the house that are going to be scented by Loki. So I don't want it to be just the rug, because then they just might start peeing on the rug. If they get more comfortable with the smell, because I'm not planning on cutting out this rug. By the time I got the rug, I think Loki peed on it once, if that. So, I mean, it's pretty good. And because of my foot, I really don't feel like swapping out a rug right now, especially with what's going on with work. There's a bunch of stuff going on. So I might leave the couch covers as is. I might leave a couple of Loki's toys as is, and then see how TYR reacts to those particular toys. He might protect them. He might destroy them. Guess what? We're all going to find out as soon as I get them. How's my mom doing now that your father passed? Yes, my dad passed away last year in July, 2 days before his 90th birthday. He would have been 3 days before his 90th birthday. She's doing better. She's recovered. It was hard on her for a good couple of months. Actually, more like 4 or 5. She's doing a lot better. She's a very strong woman. She's Cuban, by the way, and she's also 89. Sorry, my dad passed away at 95. He would have been 96 in July. She's doing a lot better. She's still going to the casino every Sunday. Yeah, she's 89, still drives herself to the casino every Sunday. I go see her every Sunday, hang out with her, keep her company. I talk to her like 5 times a day, so she's doing good. She needed the time here for you guys that remember the hurricane. She learned a lot. She got to interact with Loki. I got to spend, a month and a half with her. And I think that's what she needed after my dad passing. So the hurricane actually came in handy because I got to spend literally a month and a half with my mom. My mom lives in Miami, for those guys who don't know, which is about an hour away. With traffic, about an hour and a half. At 5 o'clock, it's 2.5 hours, the traffic. So yeah, the traffic's bad in Miami. I talk to her as much as possible, but she's doing good. Thank you very much for asking. That's a lot of babies. I think, Susan, you're talking about the number of kids that they have. Yes, they have a lot because the selection of nature is, you know what, the more you have, the more that might survive. If you just have one or two, chances are they might not survive, especially when you're a fox, which you are a predator, but you're not like one of those higher predators like a coyote or a wolf, which feed on foxes, or a lion, an apex predator, which is like a lion or some type of dominant predator. And even them, they still have litters of 6 to 7. Foxes have as many as, like I said, one had 16. So they want to keep their population going. So that's why they have a lot. How's my leg? Thank you, Leo, for asking. Like I said, leg's doing good. I'm getting used to walking again. I'm walking a lot better. It's not hurting. I am going to have to get new insoles because I'm eating those things up because my foot is resting on its side. Because resting flat, my bone, where the bones are loose, move to the right. So it doesn't feel that comfortable. So either I have to get metal insoles to push that bone back and keep it in place. So that's all coming up in the future. And you know what? If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Hey Kurt, how you doing? Say hi to Missy Poodle for me. I see that you're on. I can't dance yet, and my tap dancing career is over. I'll never be able to tap dance again, which I never did, but it was funny. Hurricane Ivan really messed our town in a decade ago. Randy Fox, yeah. Hurricanes are no laughing matter. That's why I'm stressing on anybody who lives around the coast, anybody who's prone to a hurricane, just stock up now. If you have 20 cans and 30 cans of tuna, it'll last you 6 months. It doesn't go bad. Soup doesn't go bad. Get the little burners. Get them on Amazon. You don't have to do the overnight shipping. You can have it shipped with free shipping in a week. Stock up to where if you go in your closet and you look at the floor, if you have enough space, use that for your hurricane supplies. Move your shoes, use it for hurricane supplies. Store the tuna there. Tuna's wrapped. It doesn't matter if you have it in your closet. It doesn't have to be in a cupboard. Just save it till you need it. If you need to eat tuna for 4 days after a hurricane, guess what? If you have a generator, stock up on gas, even if you don't have a generator. Gas doesn't go bad that quick. Gas will last you a good 3-4 months. Guess what? If a hurricane does hit and then you go try to buy the gas containers, I forgot where it was. I think it was Home Depot had a 3.5 gallon, Sears, it was Sears. I think that's why they're going out of business. Sears had a 3.5 gallon container of gas empty for $20. What the, sorry. I looked at the guy and I go, are you kidding me? He goes, that's the prices. You know what? I can't say it because this is a G-rated channel, but I think you know where I'm going with that. No, you can go buy a 5 gallon for $20 right now. They were selling 3.5 for I think $22. So it's stuff like that that just really upsets me. And I'm being nice on the language, believe it or not. Which we should never curse. For the kids in there, cursing's bad. But stock up now, get prepared. If you end up with 3 5-gallon containers, great. If you need them, save them for next year. If you never use them, guess what? That's a blessing in disguise. That means nothing happened. Buy the lamps, candles, batteries. Batteries don't go bad either. Get it all now, beginning of hurricane season. Guess what? If you buy a 30-pack of AA, because now the flashlights that we should get, hold on. I'm coming, hold on, I'm trying to find a flashlight. I normally have flashlights all over the place, but you get those little tiny ones that use AA and AAA. Well, guess what? You buy 2 30-packs of batteries, and you just what I used to do. They also have packs of the very cheap flashlights. I mean, they don't last a week after using them if you use them constantly. That I'm telling you right now. A week to 2, they don't last. But what you do is you buy 2 packs, you got 20 flashlights without the batteries. If you do use them, You put the batteries in, you turn it on, you put it on the table, you put it on the TV, you put it over here. The pack will probably cost you $10. You get like 10 to 15 flashlights. They'll last you through the hurricane. After the hurricane, throw them away. You buy 60 AA batteries. Those will last longer than the D with the big flashlight and the mag lights. Get the smarter lights, put them around the house. It's all about having the light, saving money. Don't go out and buy the $50 flashlights for a hurricane. No, just keep them in the closet. Put them in with the water. Grab 3 cases of water. Grab 20 cans of tuna. 10 cans of soup. The flashlights, put them all in the closet. The gas you have to keep outside. Do not keep the gas inside. That we know. Never run your generator inside the house, which people do. If you're thinking somebody's going to steal it, chain it to the bumper of your car. Chain it to the rim of your car. They won't steal it that way. Just remember it's chained up before you move your car, but just little things like that. Stocking up now while we still have a chance and the prices are cheaper. Get 5 sheets of plywood. I still have, believe it or not, my house still has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of plywood up around the house. I never took them down. They never told me anything. They would have, I would have. Well, then I had my leg problem, but I still got the plywood up. Guess what? I'm already ready. I still have the plywood from last hurricane that I took off the doors and the windows. If I have to buy, I might have to buy 3 or 4. But you know what? I might buy 5 more. If my neighbor needs some wood, guess what? I'll give her the wood. I'll put up the plywood for her. And just neighbors helping neighbors is what we need nowadays. Kema Pinball Gaming. Hey, Noel. I was about to ask last week, what did you think about TYR or the Australian Shepherd being the next mascots for the next logos? As Loki will be in certain features for the next few years. Hey, by all means, use TYR, use the Australian Shepherd. I got to see when I'm going to get him. First, let's see how TYR works out and what my living situation is, which I think I'm going to be staying here, so I have to be adjusting stuff. I really like it. It's comfortable. I'm used to it. So, yeah, you can use the pictures. Trust me, as soon as TYR comes up, there's going to be a lot of pictures on the internet for about TYR the White Fox. Any pictures of his or her mom? Not yet, because I don't know what litter TYR is coming from. So, as soon as I get anything, I will try to get a picture of the mom and of the litter, if I can. Again, I'm not getting into detail where I'm getting him right now, but I will keep everybody posted and aware and in tune on exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and everything that's going on. Leslie, watching your videos with Loki always... Leslie Craig, watching your videos with Loki always made people's day a little brighter. We all look forward to TYR. Yeah, that's one thing I did get a lot of, is that Loki videos did help out a lot of people, not only with depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, a lot of kids with autism, which one reached out to me. I don't know if you're on watching, but I did get your email about your group with the 7 that you changed to Loki the Red Fox. It's an autism group. And yes, I'm getting more Loki the Red Fox stickers like this. And I'm also going to be getting Loki the Red Fox stickers with his face. So that's stuff that I'm going to be getting, and I'll probably be like selling them online for like $1 or $2. I don't care how much it costs me. It's just to keep Loki's memory out there, because so many people did love him. And I didn't come out with any Loki merchandise, and I'm not coming out with it now to make a profit off of my Fox, but the stickers cost me money, the shipping costs, and just it's $1 or $2. It's not going to be a $50 sticker. So, and I give a lot away to people that did reach out to me, the people that would send Loki gifts, the people that did send me the sympathy cards. I sent them a magnet, stickers, stuff like that. So it's just about keeping him and his memory alive, which I'll keep on doing. And then when TYR comes out, yes, I will be having little TYR stickers with his little face. I'm trying to design a logo where it's going to be a TYR and then a silhouette of a fox head to start, and then come out with shirts that actually have a picture of him calendar. I am coming out with a 2019 calendar for Loki for those who want it, because I got so much response on people wanting Loki stuff because they miss him so much that, you know what, I'm going to cater to that and say, you know what, here you go, guys. And it's not going to be something outrageous. Like, again, I'm not paying the rent with that. It's just all for Loki and all for TYR. It just gets put back into the process of making my little fox the happiest fox around. Anything I can do for him, getting him to tents that I would get Loki, building him smaller ramps. I heard, my understanding, Arctic foxes don't like to be high up. Well, build little tunnels in the house. Just getting to know him, and all that money just goes back to him. It's not, I have a good job, I can pay for my own stuff, the rent and everything else, so any money that comes in goes back to TYR. And thank you for that, Leslie. Thank you for that comment, Leslie. It's always floods. I particularly live in a swamp. Big Sur Gaming. Well, Florida is a swamp, or it was a swamp before. The flooding is the problem, because a lot of people, this happened in Miami when, in Miami when Hurricane Andrew came by. The streets were so flooded, I had water up past my waist, and I'm 6 feet tall, so that's water up to here on the streets. And you don't know where the road goes. An 18-wheeler ended up in a canal because the street curved, and when you're up high in murky water, you can't see the street. The 18-wheeler kept on going and ended up in a canal. So the flooding is a huge problem when the water start rising, and it's not only the winds. Yes, the winds do a destructive force on houses where you might rip your roof off, but you're not going to die of that unless something falls on you. There's no lightning in a hurricane. I don't know if you guys know that or not, because the winds are moving so fast, it doesn't give the clouds and the surface enough time to create a positive and negative energy. When the winds slow down, then yes, you do get lightning strikes. But in a hurricane, you rarely get lightning because everything is moving so fast, it doesn't have time to build up the friction and to build the positive and negative. So you're not likely to get killed by lightning or hit by lightning during a hurricane. It's afterwards and right before that all the nasty storms start. With that said, if you take the numbers of deaths in hurricanes and by population, last year there was a hurricane that was 200 something plus miles an hour. That is catastrophic. It went over this one island, which I apologize, I forgot the name of the island, and it leveled the island. There was, I think, 6 casualties out of maybe 200,000 or more. I could be mistaken. Well, if a hurricane does hit South Florida, the chances of you dying are not that high. You might get, even if we get, let's say, 200 fatalities, which I hope never happens, and I'm just giving estimates. Well, the population, we're in the millions, so the percentage is very low that somebody will die. It's the ones that go out in the storm like I did. Well, not really, but, and start driving. They get swept away by floodwaters. Something coming through your window, a coconut at 60 miles an hour, that'll do some damage. Oh, excuse me. I forgot I was making something in the kitchen. Okay, sorry about that. I completely forgot I was making tea. Oh, my tea's done. So the chances of a coconut flying through your window are not slim to none. Not only a coconut, any type of debris. If your neighbor didn't put their flamingo that's in their yard away, the winds pick it up. That's a missile coming at your house at 60 miles an hour. Yes, it's going to go through your windows. That's why you board it up. It's not to control the wind. You're not controlling the wind. You're trying to protect your house from debris coming through your glass windows. If you have, sometimes a friend of mine's apartment, not his apartment directly, had hurricane windows. Well, the people that installed the hurricane windows, yes, the hurricane window is tested to 250 miles an hour. Coconut won't go through it. But what happened? The people who installed it, the frame when they put the window on the apartment, didn't do it right. Used cheap bolts and screws. So what happened? Window survived, but the whole frame came off the house, and all the flood waters and everything just inundated the person's apartment. So you'll just always be careful and be safe. All right, let me get back to the questions now. Sorry about that. Hi from England. So glad I can watch. Thank you, Scales and Tails, for being here. Thank you very. I just killed it. Hold on. Whoops. Excuse me. Please hold. I gotta get back on streaming. I just closed my Firefox browser. Sorry, my bad. That was here. Okay, now I'm back. Good streaming condition. I have 70 people on. I am almost back. Okay. Wow, sorry about that. Well, Tier Gecker. Oh, I lost the beginning part of the chat. All right. Can't wait. Okay, if I just skip your question, because I'm back to, well, Tier Gecker as much as Loki. His Gecks were too cute. I think I just missed a bunch of questions, and I completely apologize by closing that window. Yeah, there's... Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I just got all the messages back, I think. No. Why does it say live chat? I want all messages are visible. Okay. All right, I completely apologize if I do not get to the questions, because right now I am at single cell. Our winter never ends in some places. So if you have a question, I'm sorry. If I did not get to it, please say it again, because I closed my window by mistake and now I am backtracking. Susan, well, I'm going for today. Okay. Can't wait to meet Tier. Not too long ago, I stumbled on one of your videos of Loki and loved him instantly. Try to follow your videos, but I can't always take part on the live streams. Got lucky today. Well, thank you, Kristen Schmidt. Thank you very much. You actually joined us today. Thank you for following Tier, and you're going to love him when he gets here. I know I am. Okay, that's somebody else having a different conversation. Think about England. Lowest temp in Fort Lauderdale, Florida was 28 Fahrenheit. Oh, okay, I thought you meant today. That was from Nicholas Wild. It doesn't really get cold here, especially in May. Oh, no, you're talking lowest temperature in Fort Lauderdale ever was 28 degrees. Yes, but it's normally in the 80s, 90s with the humidity at, what, 60 to 90%. Sadie Days, Team Loki, Team Tier, we love your Fox from Virginia. Everybody be careful of this storm. Tier has his own little United Nations here waiting for him. Yes, he does. He doesn't even know the following he has when he gets here. So we got 25. All right. Noel, you don't need to answer this question. It's not about Tier. When I started watching your videos 1 or 2 years ago, I saw the arcade game Gauntlet. I'm a good gamer, so I would just want to know how you got it. Okay, no, that's a legitimate question also, and that's from The Bomb 2016, and X's in the front and the back. A friend of mine that I used to work with loved video games, like arcade games. He had pinball machines, he had arcades, he had a whole room dedicated to just his arcade room. He had a pool table, foosball table, and then he had to move. Something happened, and he had to get rid of all his games, or not all of them. He kept some, but he was getting rid of it, And I would always go to his house. I mean, he was actually my boss at the time. And I put the top if I'm going to drink it again. And he sold me that arcade game for $300. I put it in I went, picked it up, had help, put it in the back of my truck. This was actually 14 years ago. I've had that video game. It's fully functional. The only thing that just finished dying was the battery on the CMOS. So when I turn it on, it resets to factory default, which means I have to open up the thing, program it to be a free play, how much life points you get by hitting the start button. So the video game is fully functional. I don't know if you've seen some of the older videos that I have where I think there's a couple where the game is on and you can see Loki in the background. So yeah, that's how I got that game about 14 years ago. I paid $300 for it, and it's still fully functional. All right, Miss Goodrich. What happened to Loki's mom? Did you get a divorce? Nope, we were never married. Just things don't work out, and we just went our separate ways. That's all I'm going to expand on that. So don't get me wrong, she loved Loki, beautiful person, but some things just don't work. So that's what happened there. And it's already been about almost a year since that happened. So that's that question. I have no problem answering questions. It's that if I didn't want my life on the internet, guess what? I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. So people ask the questions, and if it's decent enough to answer, if it's a good, I can answer the question. If you know what I mean. Okay. What does your mom? I'm thinking the question is what my mom thought of Loki, and that's from Corpy Fox. My mom loved Loki, even though he bit her. He did bite her before she left. A little scratch. She loved him. She was so sad when he passed. I think that got to her also. But at least it was in February, not too close to July of last year, and that really did affect her. She's so happy I'm getting a fox. Of course, she's going to be one of the few that's going to be holding TYR at 8 weeks old, 7 weeks old. So as soon as I get him, he'll be in the house for a little bit. I'm going to take him to my mom's house, and you guys are going to see videos and pictures of my mom holding TYR, the little baby fox. She wants to meet him. She's so happy that I'm getting one just to keep myself occupied. But I'm not getting a fox to keep myself occupied. I'm getting a fox because I want to rescue another animal and give him the best life possible. Is it gonna help me out? Yes, I'm gonna stay home a lot more. I'm gonna be working from home a lot more just to keep him company. And so yeah, it's a win-win situation for both parties, the fox and for me. Hello from Germany, local time 9:30 p.m. Temperature 26 degrees Celsius, 42%. I would think humidity, it's scrolled, and clear skies. I don't know what the 26 is in Fahrenheit, but I think it's in the, 50s, if I'm not mistaken, for Fahrenheit. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody will say something. Well, hello, Alex Van Volps. I remember you from last week. You're glad, Ellen Water says, I'm glad she's doing better. Thank you very much. What city do I live in? I live in Florida. I live in South Florida, in the Fort Lauderdale area. Let's just leave it at that. We're gonna go very vague on exact coordinates on where I live. Not for you in particular, but just for anybody watching, because I do get a lot of hate mail. I do get a lot of haters. I do get a lot of people that don't like what I'm doing, which at point I don't really give I don't care. Let's keep it at that. Remember, it's a G channel. Say anything you want about what I'm doing. I take pride in what I do with what I'm doing with T, which what I did with Loki. He had the best life possible. He was happy. A lot of people don't agree. But you know what? As with every opinion, I said that backwards, but I think you know where we're going with that. Everybody has an opinion. And you know what? That's your opinion. That's perfectly fine. That's not my opinion or the thousands of followers that he has. But guess what? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that's what makes the world go round. So that's pretty much it on that. Loki wanted a snack on Grandma's shoes. Oh my God, he was a little fiend for stealing shoes, especially flip-flops. And my mom, her little feet, she had like a size 5. And I told her, Mom, don't take your shoes off. Okay. But my mom knows everything. Of course, she's Mom. She put her shoes down. Loki saw them, and he tried stealing her shoes. And then he tried stealing her shoes with her still wearing it. So that was even funnier. But yeah, I remember that day. You make my foot hurt. Oh, why would I make your foot hurt? And that was from Julie. No, I think you're saying I make your foot hurt by me explaining what's going on with my foot. Okay, now I'm starting to get it. All right, sorry about that. I'm hoping that's the way it was meant. I know this is old, but how did you hurt your leg again? I miss watching you. I dropped my toolbox on it. I was getting it out of my truck, and it was wet, and toolbox slipped, and it landed on my foot. And if you see my toolbox, you'll understand why, especially with what's in it. I have about 3 drills, power saw. Yeah, it's a big toolbox. It landed on my foot, and it literally didn't crush the bones, because as soon as it was falling, I tried moving my foot, and upon me moving it, it kind of pushed all the bones to the side, dislocating all my bones. They tried pushing it back. I had pins, but the didn't work very well. So my bones are all loose in my foot. But you know, I can still walk. I'm good. Hey Noel, as I was about to ask last week, what did you think about TYR or an Australian Shepherd being... Oh wait, I just got to that. All right, I remember that. Yes. Okay, so that means I didn't go too far back. Oh no, I think you might be asking it again. But yes, you can use the logos for TYR and for the Australian Shepherd if I do get it. A toolbox took a dive on his left foot. Okay, so you guys are answering. I'm just getting now back to this because when a question gets asked, yes, I can spend 3 to 5 minutes on a rant on answering the question. Just want to make sure that person gets the answer they deserve. So I'm now coming up to thumbs up for the flashlight run. Disposable batteries. Sorry, that last one, thumbs up for the flashlight run, is from Computer G. And Corpy Fox, disposable batteries will die after many years, but last a long time if not used. You know what? Even if it's a couple of years, what you do is you buy them. Guess what? Everybody has those clocks, the little clocks that take AA's. You still have batteries for that. You'll use them around the house, remotes. It's not that they won't go bad. It's just be prepared before. That's all I'm saying. Just buy the stuff and just be prepared, because we know what happens in a hurricane. People scramble. As soon as you pull up to the gas station and you see a line around the corner, that's like as soon as they said a hurricane's coming. Well, guess what? That's when you still have 5 to 6 days. That's when you fill up your 5 gallons of gas. And when do you go? You go at 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to go at 5 o'clock rush hour. You go at 3 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock before you get to work. Fill them up, chain them all together, chain them to the pipe where your spigot is, and guess what? Leave them there. They're going to be okay. Cover them up so they don't get direct sunlight, just so the gas doesn't go bad, so it's covered. You can put them in a shed, great. Never keep them in the house. The cans of tuna, oh God, hold on. The cans of tuna, the soup, the ramen noodles. Buy all that stuff now. And guess what? If we don't get a hurricane, or if you don't get a hurricane and your family's fine, make tuna sandwiches every other week. It's not that bad. You'll eat it. It's not like, don't buy something you're not going to eat, because then you won't eat it during the hurricane either. So, just being prepared. I have a light that's hand cracked, so I'm lucky if it was strong. I had one too. Those work, which have a rechargeable battery in it. It's a type of flashlight. You can get them online. It's a type of flashlight that has a little crank. So it has a battery in it, and you crank it, and as you crank it, it starts charging the battery, and it'll last you for a couple of minutes. On that one, I do recommend don't go cheap on it. If you go cheap on that, the battery that's in it starts losing its charge really quick. So literally, if you want the light, you have to sit there and crank the light just to keep the light on. As soon as you stop, it doesn't hold the charge. So those kind of things you want to keep no matter what. It depends on the budget. I would not substitute that with a regular flashlight and batteries, because you would crank, you crank for I think a minute. Yes, you have a battery for 10 minutes, you have a light for 10 minutes, but then you have to crank again. If you're doing something, and let's say during the hurricane you got a leak, you have to repair something happened, you crank, your light goes out in the middle of it, now you have a serious problem. Use that as a backup or emergency light. Still keep the regular flashlights, and like I said, I recommend the small ones. The little tiny flashlights that take 2 AA or 3 AA's. Guess what? They shine really bright. You set up 6 of them around the house, your whole living room's lit up, as opposed to buying the $5 big battery or the big lamps. Oh, it's always good to have a couple of those around, just in case a flood lamp. You need to go outside, you need to shine a wide area. But don't go overboard on those. I'd go overboard on the AAA and the AA, which you're going to use anyway on remotes and or clocks or radios or something, and get the smaller, cheap flashlights. If you use it after the hurricane and it dies, you know what? It was $5 or $10 for a pack of 10 or 20. Guess what? It was worth it. So that's where I was going with that. Sears Kmart had store closing clearance sales that would mark up their prices before the sale, so that the sale price was the same price as the original price. You know what? I do not put that past them, and that was from Nick Wild. I'm going to say your name backwards. Is that okay? From Zootopia. Hello from the UK. You must be super excited to meet here. And that's from Robin Elliott. Yes, I can't wait. I have to get my mind in gear, and I have to start cleaning this house, because I don't want to just put everything in a room out of the way, because then I'm going to be upset at myself when I walk into that room and it's a mess. So I'm not OCD that way too much, but if I do walk in a room, I want at least to be able to walk on the floor and know where things are at. So I can't wait, and come probably next weekend or during the week, hopefully I don't have too much to do during the week, I'm literally going to start throwing stuff away. If I haven't used it for 2 years, I'm throwing it away. Unless it's like a computer part, that I need. But if I haven't used it for 2 years, it's in the garbage. That means I'm not going to use it. Unless it's tuna, or if I haven't used it for 2 years, I might throw it away. Hello from the UK, just said that. Rip Kmart. Yeah, it's been a while since I saw a Kmart. Are Arctic foxes born white or gray? That is from Rural Whitepaw. How you doing? That's a great question. It depends on the fox. Polar Arctic foxes have a gray undercoat. The foxes are born with whatever undercoat they have. It's not that their coat changes color. It's that they start growing their outer coat. Well, Arctic foxes, as you know, not all of them. There's a blue Arctic that has a blue tint to it. There's a shadow Arctic. There's a polar Arctic. The polar Arctic has a gray undercoat. So when you get them, they're gray, and then they grow into their white outer coat, at which point, when they shed their coat for the summer, this is the polar Arctic, then they would be a gray fox. So in the summer, if you see a fox, an Arctic fox, and you see it in the summer, it's a gray fox. In the winter, it'll be a white fox. I chose a polar Arctic, so I am going to have a gray and white fox. If something tragic happens based on the human selection of life and nature itself, and I cannot get a polar Arctic, I will be getting a shadow Arctic, which now the shadow Arctics have a white undercoat and a white outer coat. So the answer to your question is it depends on the type of fox it is. Whatever the Arctics would be gray, the polars would be white. They're a little bit darker on the white. They're not that true white, but they're not like a gray. I'm not sure about the blue ones. I think the blue ones are also born white. I'm not sure. That one I haven't done my research on. Laura Smith, I love your videos. Thank you very much for joining and for that comment. An important item for storm season, portable chargers for cell phones. Yes, if you can, they have those portable chargers. Invest, which I'm about to get one for my truck, and not even for my truck, but for me, is those portable chargers that you can jumpstart your car. I get, because I own a pickup, if anybody's battery dies, they need to move furniture, they call me. So instead of charging or giving somebody a jump with your vehicle, and if you do, here's a rule of thumb, which will save you a lot of aggravation in the future. If you're going to jump start a car, put the jumper cables on. Do not start your car. Just put the jumper cables on and see if the person can start their car just by hooking up the cables. First try that. Why? The reason being, if your car is on, the jumper cables are on your battery and their battery. When their car starts, what's the first thing they do? They accelerate. What is that doing? That is running amperage, more amperage into your battery, which is hurting your alternator. So, if you can, you get in the person's car and start it. And what you do is you start it. Let the car start and then instantly take off one of the terminals. Don't think it's going to charge, because you're going to be, if you feed electricity from the car battery, which is dead, and you start it, their alternator all of a sudden kicks in, and that's what keeps the car running. I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you want to test an alternator, you get the car, you turn it on, you remove your battery terminal. If the car keeps on running, that means the alternator is running right, feeding the electricity to the car. Now, you start turning on lights and the radio, guess what? It's going to kill the alternator, your car's going to turn off. So the battery does do its job, the alternator recharges the battery, but the alternator is the main thing keeping the car running. And the battery too. So you want to start the car, don't accelerate it, and take the one battery terminal off if you have to turn on your car. But if you can, hook the battery cables up and have the other person try to start the car without turning on your car. I know this was completely off topic on the question, but just in case you guys want to learn something, it's something I've experienced, and for my mechanic, the same thing. But again, you get those power, the ones that will start your car, they run about $60 to $70 for a better one. And what that does, if it can start your car, you know you're going to be able to charge your phone for a while. So if you do lose power, guess what? If you don't have a generator, and you have to stay home, one of these will work, because you can actually power a small little USB lamp. Those portable battery chargers for your phone, yes, those work too. But now I'm thinking on the long run is you can always use your car lighter as a phone charger. Now, the reason for the car battery, the car charger, is if something happens to your battery, you don't want to be left not being able to charge your battery, especially after a hurricane. It's always good to have one of those anyway. So, yes, that's another good thing to have. Loki plushies. I don't know. Oh, sorry, Computer G. Can't wait to see TYR, and yes, watching you guys help me a lot on my bad days. I get that a lot, and I'm really grateful for your response and the honest opinions I get back from the Loki videos and what I was doing. It makes what I'm doing a lot more, it hits home. I'm helping. If Loki or TYR, or me for that matter, can help anybody at any point, that's what I want to do. because we all have to stick in this. We're all in this together. Nicholas Wild says, Loki plushies. Well, I gotta find one with the black legs, and then what I would do is dip one of the legs in bleach, so it would have a little white paw. I wouldn't just contract a company just to any type of fox and just call it Loki. No, I want it personalized by me or something done to it. When you receive it, it has some type of special quality. So I was looking into that, but I don't know about the plushies yet. Wendy Madge, good evening, Noel from Wales, United Kingdom. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day, or great evening. Sorry, if I'm not mistaken, it's evening, because Pauline says it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It should be somewhere about 9 or 10 o'clock. I was excited when you said you wanted to open a sanctuary. It's an ambition for the near or distant, is it an ambition for the near and distant future? Noel, and that is from Pauline. Yes, Pauline. I want to, but I don't want, how do I put this? It's not going to be a project that if it doesn't work, oh well. Because the way I do things, I want to make sure that if I do start it, something happens to me, it's going to keep on going the same track. Not because of me or the name, but because of the foxes in the sanctuary. I have to make sure I have enough backing or enough going on to keep it going for a minimum of 5 years to start and grow. And then within those 5 years, do my hardest to keep it going permanently. Not just a year, take it a year at a time, because now I'm taking other foxes' lives into my hands. And that's something, I can't see doing at 50%, oh, let me get it started and hopefully it grows. No, if I get it started, I better be able to take care of these foxes for the rest of my life or the rest of their lives. Because I want to make sure that anything I start, I necessarily don't have to finish and it will never end. It'll just keep on going. So that's where the structure, and I build infrastructures for corporations for a living, so that's where the infrastructure has to be set to where I can almost guarantee if I do start a sanctuary, it's not for a year or two and then it didn't work out because I don't have donations, when I have to keep it going forever. So I'm not saying forever to start, but at least if I have 5 years, knowing I have a good 5 years of I can start it and take care to about 20 foxes in a safe manner living in Florida to where they're protected, nothing's going to happen to them, and then within those 5 years build it up to 10, build it up to 15, build it up to 20, and then hopefully build something that'll just run itself. And that's something I want to do. But again, I won't do something and put my name or Loki's name on it unless I truly believe that I can keep it going. So I want to do that. So that's something I really have a passion when I do something, and that's going to be one of my passions. But I have to do the legwork first. I have to see if I can raise enough money to keep it going. How am I going to keep it going? Sponsorships. That's something I got to see. I'm not just going to get a cage, put it in my backyard, and I'm going to run a sanctuary. Because I can do that, and it's a great thought, and I will be helping the animals, but what if something happens? That's my fear. I want to make sure I can keep and protect the animals that I have, and make sure that once I have them, they're going to be well taken care of. So I hope that answers your question. I cried when Loki died. Yes, I don't even want to go there, but yes, I feel your pain on that one. I think I just answered that one, but Labrador, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. I know TYR is going to be an Arctic fox. What kind of Arctic fox? I'm planning on him being a polar Arctic, but he might end up being a shadow Arctic. I do not know yet. Where will we get Loki and TYR 2019 calendars? That's from Nicholas Wild. I'm not sure. I was thinking of printing them myself and shipping them, but the only problem with that is I have to charge on shipping costs, and a lot of the shipping cost is going overseas. What I didn't want was for somebody to pay $25 or $20 for a calendar. It depends on my cost, because it's that. And I don't mean the little calendars. I'm talking a full-blown calendar. Once you open it, this is just half the calendar. Loki's picture is going to be at least a good 1.5 feet large. I'm not going little tiny calendar. I'm going good calendar, good quality glossy paper. I don't want the calendar to be $25 and then have to pay $30 for shipping because I'm sending it to Poland, which I have shipped out stuff, and I had to pay $26, I think it was like $22 to send something that weighed almost nothing. I think it was like $17 shipping. So with that said, in the United States, I have no problem. The international following that Loki has and TYR has, and I'm catering to the world, that's why I'm doing this. I would rather have a company who does this for a living. Their shipping costs are going to be a lot less. Now, does this mean in the United States your shipping costs might be a little bit high? Probably, but we have to take the good with the bad, and I don't want somebody who wants to follow or wants a Loki calendar, a Loki shirt, a Loki anything, or a TYR calendar, a TYR shirt, to have to pay $30 to receive that product, or $25. A legitimate company is going to make the calendar. Yes, I get some money back, but they make most of the money. Why? Because they're producing it and they're taking the shipping costs. I will get a product spec of what it's going to be. I will buy one of their calendars and say, look, this is the quality that I want. And then it's up to them on the arranging a price and being able to get it around the world where it's economical. Because I'm sure nobody has paying $60 for a calendar is unheard of. I know you guys love Loki, but come on, that's not legit. So if you can get a calendar for $20, $25, I'll drop what I make, I don't care, but the shipping cost is $15 instead of the $25 to $30, you know what? That's what I'm going to go for. So I still have to find a company that I can make a calendar with and is a good quality product that's not out for the money on just making it on the shipping or trying to take advantage of people. So that's not what I'm in it for. So the pictures, I have to get the pictures first. Loki, I have enough to make a calendar, yes. So I am going to start doing my research. And thank you very much, because I should start doing it now. So when the time comes, I can actually have something ready and already have that business relationship with them. So I'm going to put that on a note. That's something I have to do. So thank you for that. Hi, Alan Henches. Sorry if I mangled that last name. I'm sorry, but hi, Alan. And this is from Moon of White Pod. Does your house have an upstairs flood that you can hide when it floods downstairs? No. I live in a one-story house. The flooding here, I'm not too close to the beach, and my house, knock on wood, is almost not on a hill, but if you look at my house, on the one side, it'll go down a good 1.5 feet. So I'm not in a flood zone. My house is up high on a perch, so I'm good with the flooding. I don't think I have to worry about the flooding. If I do have to worry about the flooding, that means that it's really bad out there. So that's when I pack everybody up, get in the truck, and leave Dodge. I will not stay in the house. If water starts coming in the house, I don't care. I will leave in the middle of the hurricane. I really want to Loki the Red Fox shirt like you wear and sticker. would be nice. Maybe sell on eBay with worldwide shipping, easy for me and others to buy. And that is from Dewey. I only came up with 3 of these, which I'm gonna talk to a friend of mine who has a friend with a printing company. So I'm gonna see if I can come up with some of these. I'm gonna come up with some that have like a Loki face on it, like a little circle, LRTF under it, and him with his little face crooked, and see how much it's gonna cost me. And then yes, I will look into the eBay part of it, and because the shirts don't weigh much. Shirts are light. They're not as heavy as a calendar. I think the shirts are like less than a calendar. The only problem I have is getting the shirts and buying 10 larges. I can't tell the printer, hey, make me 1 small. You look at me and go, no. So I need to find out what I need to order from them, because it's going to affect cost. If I'm going to sell a shirt for $20 and it costs me $19, then shipping, I mean, if I only order 1, but if I order 10, it drops down to $15. That gives me a little bit more leeway, because I still have to take time, go to the post office. Somebody actually reached out to me, a company reached out to me about making shirts. So everything's up in the air. If you want to send me an email, you can send it to Loki at LokiTheRedFox.com or LokiTheRedFox@gmail.com. I'll get both of them. All right, and then we can talk more on the shirts. And if anybody wants one. So that gives me a ballpark and size. Put the size. Male, female, large, small. So I can get a ballpark. You know what? I'm going to need at least 10 male larges and 6 small females or large females or medium females. So I gauge on what I need to get. Tornadoes are awful too. We get them once every other year, but in northern Ohio, so it doesn't happen that much. Well, we don't get tornadoes, and if we do, we get like F1s, which is the, I would say, best tornado to have, which is on the lighter side. Unlike mid-country, where you guys get, when you guys get tornadoes, you're talking about, you're destroying a whole town almost. These things are half a mile wide. So that's a, yeah, we get tornadoes, but they'll move your car. They'll definitely grab all your patio furniture and throw it out. Depending on the house, might make a hole in your roof. But yeah, tornadoes are nasty. When Mother Nature kicks in, it's not good. All right, this is gonna scroll. So hold on, I gotta go back now. Wow. Hold on. Okay, back to the tornadoes. Let's go. They don't have lightning in Hawaii. I think I was talking to somebody else. When I was in Texas, there was a tornado. It's scary now. Yes, tornadoes are scary. When you get TYR, will you see if he chases laser pointers? Oh God, of course. And with that said, hold on. I'm gonna multitask here. Hold on, I don't have anything I can. I'm not gonna be using this particular laser, but I can multitask. So yes, I am gonna have TYR. I'm gonna see if he will chase a laser pointer when I do get him, like I did Loki. And so we'll see what happens there. Hi, Washington State. Waiting patiently for TYR. Hi, Karen. Lab lover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. A couple of weeks ago, I took my pit bull mix in for his first walk ever, and later that night, a fox was running across my yard. Yeah, you see them all over the place. Foxes are they're all over the world. And congratulations on your pit bull mix. By the way. Is that Loki on your icon? Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Thanks for yesterday. Flashback Fridays was great. I'm trying. And like I said, okay, batteries are dead. I'm going to charge it real quick. Because I know I probably have like another half an hour. Just give it a 10-minute charge. Somebody remind me to take this from the charger. Hold, please. Figure I give it a good 10-minute charge. You get to see what I'm talking about. I think you guys are going to like it. All right. Do white Arctic foxes have a different diet? Good question, and that was from Hope McKeelson. Again, sorry, Hope. Let's leave it at Hope. Do white Arctic foxes have a different diet? Not really. Their diet, honestly, in nature, does consist of they're more meat eaters than regular red fox. Just because of where they live and what they have available to eat. You don't see berries growing in negative 30-degree weather. So they're used to going through the snow, the rats, voles, mice, any type of little critters. You're not going to get insects living in negative 30-degree weather. So in nature, their diet does consist more of a meat platform, and then in the summer, they can have the berries to where as a red, it's a mixture of half and half. The diet I'm going to be feeding TYR is going to be more of a meat and still 50-50 on the fruits and vegetables. The fruits and vegetables have a way, their body needs it, but I'm still going to be giving him the meat. And for those, before it starts, I am going to go with origin dog food, like Loki, and try to get him used to some raw from early on. Because Loki wasn't exposed to raw food till later on in his life, even though he was perfectly healthy. For the first 6 years of his life, Loki's blood work came back perfect, even though he was eating kibble. So there's nothing wrong with the kibble. And I've said this before, as long as the fox or the animal or the pet or the family member gets the nutrients they need, doesn't matter what form it comes in. If it's taurine from dog food that has taurine or a little bit of cat food, or taurine from liver, heart, lungs, it's all the same. It doesn't matter. As long as the animal gets the nutrients. Hold on. Okay. As long as the animal gets the nutrients they need, that's all that matters at the end of the day. It doesn't, what form it comes in, it doesn't matter. So I hope that answered that question. Is there a reason you like Norse gods? Well, Corey, that was from Corey Marks. I don't know, it just gave me and this is before the Thor and Loki movies came out. It was Loki's mom, and her and I had a conversation, and she was the one who recommended or brought up the name Loki, the Norse god of chaos and mischief. I'm like, dude, if I'm going to have a fox, that is going to be the perfect name for it, because I know how it's going to be. So, and then with Loki, I decided to keep it in the Norse god family, instead of, hey, I'm getting a new fox, his name is Bob. Which still would have been great, because I really did want to name him Bob. But it doesn't give it that, to me. Again, my personal opinion and what I stuck with. So that's where the Norse gods came from, and the naming of Loki and TYR. Ever since I took my dog on that walk, the fox has been running in my yard every night. Well, you know what you do? Grab some carrots, grab some blueberries, don't put meat out. Because if you put meat out, it might attract larger predators and then scare away the fox, so the fox won't come by anymore. But if you put out carrots on the trail and blueberries, guess what? The fox might stop, eat, and then say, okay, there's food here, he'll come by more often. Much love from Ohio. Thank you very much, Madman Mike. Greetings and love from Florida. Very wet and gray Florida. So, oh, and everybody in the United States, please be careful this Memorial Day weekend, because a lot of people go out drinking and are not responsible. So just be careful. Everybody have a great Memorial Day. I'm not signing off. I'm just saying, before I forget on the Memorial Day part, just be safe. It's amazing to think that TYR has not been born and already there's a lot of people loving him. And that is from Marisa Rojas Jerez. Y creo que lo pronuncié bien. Marisa Rojas Jerez, ¿verdad? Ojalá. And yes, I do speak Spanish. Yeah, he's already got a little following, and I'm hoping I get an answer of, okay, there was a litter born with your name on it, and I get a date, so we can actually put a date with the Fox now on for a birthday. So yeah, it's amazing how everything works, and pretty much the following TYR has is mainly because of Loki. And you guys know what I did with him, and now want to be at the beginning parts of the new TYR experience, the TYR experience. I like that. Hold on. The TYR experience. I'm just sending myself an email real quick, because that is what I'm going to name the chapters in Owning a Fox. The TYR experience, chapter 1. I like that. Hold on. Please hold. All right then. And I didn't close the window, so the chat is still live. Oh yeah, that is, and I do see the Loki image on your icon. That is a good picture of him. Let's go. You should get a pin to go with your arcade game. Pin meaning for the game? Or like an avatar? I don't think we can do that. That's an old game. Will TYR Gecker as much as Loki? Hope he doesn't argue with you as much as Loki did. Well, you know what? I am hoping he does. Because that's what builds the interaction of who they are. I want him to have his own personality. I want him to disagree with me. I want him to be himself. Never in an angry way, never in a hostile way. But you know what? I want him to have his own personality, and I know, well, not that I know, but I'm hoping we do get along just like me and Loki did, to where we can argue. That shows that he's himself, and that's what I want him to be. I want him to be himself. I want him to be a fox. Okay, that's a good price for the video game. Now I'm getting to that question. Wow. My town selling midway arcade games. $50. Yeah, you need for Corpy Fox, yeah, you need space. I mean, it doesn't take up that much space, but if you have to move, or that's things up. Not easy to move. I gotta leave people now. Can't wait to see TYR. All right, you have a good one. And that was from Lab Lover. What's my favorite book? Sunny Annie. I actually don't have a favorite book, believe it or not. I don't read that often, because with what I do for work, I am a network engineer, systems engineer. I'm a nerd. My mind, I build infrastructures for companies, and we're talking 250 plus employee companies, that if something goes wrong with something I designed, or I forgot to plan on, company goes down, they lose hundreds of thousands of dollars an hour if they go down. So my mind is always going. I can't sit still long enough to read a book. I just can't. So I don't really read that often, so I do not have a favorite book. But that's a good question, though. We need to find you a two-legged fox to go with a four-legged fox. Thank you, Julie. Oaks. I'm not actually looking, but it becomes. I'm the type of person that destiny and nature will take its course, so it's all good. Cool, thanks for all the thumbs up. That was from D. Wee. Are both your parents Cuban? Were born in Cuba. Are both your parents Cuban? Were you born in Cuba or are you Cuban American? Maria Favela. I'm Cuban Mexican, believe it or not. My mom was Cuban, came down in '62. My dad was Mexican, got kicked out of this country 6 times before he made it. They all had their residency, so they all became residents. And I was born in New York, actually. And then moved down to Miami when my parents moved down to Miami when I was 8 months old. So I've never seen snow, put it to you that way. I've never left Florida. I mean, I've gone across the state, but it's always been in the summer, never the winter. I hope that answers the question. So I'm Cuban American. Has your mom kept Loki's favorite shoes? I don't think so. I don't know. That was from Maritza Rojas Hede. I haven't even asked her about that because he never got to steal them or damage them. If I think he did steal them, he just put them down. There was no real tear. How can someone like you get any hate? And that's from Madman Mike. Oh, you have no idea. I get death threats on YouTube, especially that Loki's angry video. You can go watch it, just read the comments. Oh my God. And the comments that are filtered are the ones cursing at me that you don't see. And if somebody doesn't feel something's right, you know what? They just complain about it. Thinking I was torturing the fox. So, yeah, it is what it is. It used to get to me in the beginning when I first started this 3 or 4 years ago. And that didn't last very long because I saw myself getting upset at the people, at the comments. How dare you say this? You know what? That's their opinion. They have to live with themselves. I know what I'm doing. I'm happy. There you go. So, yeah, I do get a lot of hate mail. How can someone get in it? I know the hater's going to hate. You got that right. Negative 26 degrees is 78 Fahrenheit. Okay, I was off by a little bit. Some people don't believe foxes should be pets. I don't believe wild foxes should be pets. If a wild fox came from nature, let it stay there. If a fox was bred and already has a level of domestication or tameness because of its parents, then you know what? We're doing something to maybe grab the species and extend its longevity, make it understand friends are friends. Humans are friends, not food. I got that from Finding Nemo, by the way, and the sharks. But that humans are our friends. And we might build something that in the near future, people will look back on and say, oh, remember 200 years ago when foxes weren't domesticated? Here, look at this Loki video. This is what they acted like as the fox is sitting next to them watching TV, hitting the remote. So everything has to get started somewhere. And hopefully, by me doing what I'm doing, I'm not saying everybody go get a fox, because again, they're still not easy. They're not domesticated. But might it get there? Dogs started somewhere. That's why you don't have the wild dogs, cats. I mean, it has to start somewhere, and God only know where it's going to be in the next 100 years of how far along the domestication of foxes really reached and who were the ones that started it. I know it's going to start with the Russian domesticated projects, but you know what? Somebody had to start something at some point. And I understand, a fox in the wild should stay in the wild. Oh, it got hurt. Great, put it back together and give it back and put it back in the wild. Don't keep it, because it wasn't bred in captivity. So a lot of people say, oh, the foxes should be running around in the fields. Again, a fox is running in the field to eat. They don't care. Once their tummies are full, they stay home. If a fox never has to leave its den because food gets dropped in it, it'll never leave its den. So people have the misconception of, oh, I see the foxes running around, they need to be free. No, foxes need to eat pretty much to survive, and that's all they think about. That's why you see them running down your path when you walk your dog. What's he doing? He's not saying, ooh, he smelled the dog. The dog might drop some food. There might be food around here if another animal is around here. Let me take this path to see if I find some food. which is why I said put some carrots and blueberries out. Do you see where my thinking is going on that? So, foxes in nature belong in nature. Foxes that have been bred in captivity, you know what? There's no point in putting them in nature or a sanctuary. Try to raise them and domesticate them, as I put it. Haters gonna move along. We lovers, not haters. Are you baked right now? No, I am not. I can honestly tell you, no, I am not. I am not baking either, which is what was in the kitchen, right? Let's run with that one. When you first get a pet fox, how big of a setup would you need for the first months in the manner of a cage pen or other type of secure place? And that is from Ace Jacobs. Okay, what I'm getting with TYR is the same thing I'm going to be doing with Loki. And hold, please. Okay. This cage was donated to me by Roughhouse. So, as you can tell, it's a smaller cage than the one Loki, well, I don't know if you can tell, but the cage is about 4 feet long, I would say about 3 feet wide. The cage, TYR is going to use that cage, but not in the beginning. You don't want to spook or scare an animal with being overstimulated or it being afraid of its surroundings. So the cage I'm going to get TYR for when he's born, which is what I'm going to be bringing up, including a carrier, a nice little carrier, not a huge carrier, is you have to grow the cage to their size. So when I first get TYR, he'll probably be about this big. This is hot. I needed another water, sorry. And so he's probably going to be about this big, which is about the size of your standard remote comparison. So with that said, why is that making noise again? Hold, please. Okay. With that said, if you put this little furry creature in that size cage, he'll probably be like 1/20th of the size of the cage. That's a lot of room for a fox when you're just coming into this world. You're not in a den, which a den is enclosed. You have your mom, your dad, whoever, and you're confined in a small area. You want him to grow and feel comfortable and feel confident about himself. So the space I'm going to get TYR is going to be the exact same cage I had Loki, which was a little long, but it was very narrow. And it had like a little overpass that he could hide and not if he was scared. And it had a second floor with a ramp. Something small to fit, not tiny, but something small to fit the animal where this much was, actually literally, this much was litter just thrown on the floor, or the pee pads, because he couldn't even walk. And then this much was the area, and then he had a second floor. So the whole cage might have been this big, as opposed to this ginormous thing that you're going to put a little fox in. So it's going to be a smaller cage. I'm going to be picking it out next week, and ordering it. And I'll show you guys as soon as I get the cage. I'm going to put it together as soon as I get the carrier. So you start small. Once he grows into the cage, and you'll know, or I'll know, when they're outgrowing it, then you move them into something like this with a litter box. To teach them, go in the litter box, and then you expand to the one large cage, and then you expand to 2 cages, and then you expand to 3 cages, and you expand to 5 cages, and you expand to a whole second floor, which is what I'm planning on doing. And you'll be able to see that progression on the series. What was it again that I called it? The TYR experience. So I know I took a lot on that one. Am I going to make an artificial den? Corey Marks. Good question. No. To make an artificial den, it would take not only a lot, but a real artificial den, meaning with dirt or with like a hiding cubbyhole type of thing. I am going to try. I built something for Loki that was made out of wood. And it was a nice setup. And with the way Loki was, I tried attaching it to the cage, but Loki was such a ornery, lovable furball that he would start eating the wood. Upon him starting to eat the wood, unsupervised, if he left unsupervised, he might eat the wood, get a nail. You know what? I don't want to hurt my fox. So, depending on the fox, because a real den would be made out of dirt. Whatever's used to make the artificial den, they might find, you know what? I'm just going to bite through it. So they ingest it, something, they're not going to eat dirt. So, yes and no, and I'm going to try to see if I can fit that back part, which is in the other room, which I'm going to be bringing out. I got to start arranging this house, like I said. So I'm going to be bringing out a piece that I'll show you guys next week once I clean the living room, because I don't dare swing that camera around to see this chaotic mess. But no, it won't be an artificial den. Even though he's gone at the start of Impale Films, I can just picture Loki barking at the viewers through a strand of gold film strip instead of the line. That'd be great. That's again. The radios. Oh yeah, also have a radio handy. So you can, during the hurricanes, or buy one. There, again, everything's cheap now. To stock up. All right. Oh, Pauline's leaving us. Good night. I'm sure it's 10 o'clock already. And I got another 10 minutes before we're at the 2-hour mark. Love watching the videos. Also, your energetic personality is great for the videos too. That's from Dan D'Amico. Thank you very much. And I'm glad you touched on that, because the videos I make, I'm trying not just to film my fox do stuff. I try to interact and talk to you guys at the same time as I'm filming, so you get a more of an understanding of the home life, so you're part of what I'm doing, or what we're doing, to where I'll talk and explain exactly what's going on, so you get the, so everybody gets the best, how do I put this, the best insight on exactly what's happening at that time, so you can understand my feeling, if I'm upset, if I'm chasing him, if we're having a great time, if something happened. So I try to interact with everybody as much as I can through the videos. And of course, the star of the show is the fox, but the translation of just looking at a fox do stuff is don't get me wrong, it's still good, but I just like getting involved. When will TYR come? And that's from Lively. TYR will be here mid to end June, about a month from now. That's from Corpy Fox. Okay. Oh, all right. Hold, please. I'm hoping it's enough time. All right. It's almost 2 p.m. here. And that's from the Bomb Fox. Oh, from the Bomb 2016. Oh, am I at the end? Oh, wait. Oh, thank you. I just saw, because this thing scrolled again. Wait. Don't forget the laser. pointer. My Siberian Husky and a gray fox that used to visit would carry on conversations, barking at each other through the fence in my backyard. Nice. You get to see the foxes in nature. Now let's see if this works. Okay. Comments are just like dealing with drunks at the bar. Just ignore and move on. You're absolutely right. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't work, then that means the laser broke. Oh, okay. I guess it's working. I don't know if you guys can see the beam. It's not doing it. But I can do, and the battery needs to charge a little more, but I do have this. Wonder if this will work. I just lit the match. Let's do it again. Can you guys see the beam? That's what I wanted to show you guys. I am not going to be pointing this at TYR. I will buy one of those little cheap $2 laser pointers that you can probably shine in your eye and, oh god, now it's supposed to like match. So no, I will not be using this with TYR. Just so everybody knows, TYR will not be, this will not be used in the playing of TYR. But I had to show you the laser that I did get. I've had it for a little bit now. Hold on. I was always told by my parents, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. I agree 100%. And that is from Grey Wolf. I am with you on that 110%. And Kirk, how you doing? Can't wait for the adventure to start. Go TYR, go. Neither can I. I can't wait for that one. Took us. I will not say that. And that was from Bruce. Noel just asking, if you came across an injured fox, what will you do? Well, you try to help it. And if you're a veterinarian and know what to do if it's a broken leg, if it's very angry and clawing at you, trying to trap it, get it help. If it's mange, give it the medicine, give it the proper medicine, but always take it to a vet. And the vets would know where to or how to rehabilitate it and put it back in the wild. There's phone numbers. I know that every state has Fish and Wildlife Commission, and even other countries. I know in Europe they have one for foxes that help out. They'll give you free medicine that you can put in the food and just to help them with the mange. In the States here, it's a little bit different. You wouldn't be able to keep it at your house because then you don't want that legality behind you. But you would want to either call the state and find out, or have somebody come out and help it, and they're going to help it. They're just not going to euthanize it unless it's too far gone and it won't survive. They will help the fox, and it's better if the fox is going, or any animal for that matter, if it's hurt and it's going to die, I think it's better being euthanized and just put to sleep nicely instead of suffering a horrible death out in the wherever it is. So when I say euthanize, I don't mean that is the first option. I mean they use that as the last option and the only option unless it's going to make a full recovery. So that's what I would do. Don't forget the tea. Don't forget the laser. Thank you guys. I just saw that now when I remembered about the laser. So my mind's still working. Way to go, Roughhouse. Thanks, Mr. Mikey and Mr. Lauren. Here has a new home waiting for him. Sweet. Yes. Thank you, Kirk, for the got here a $25 gift certificate, and you guys can too. It's Rough House. If you go to Loki Direct Box under Friends, that's where we're going to be getting all of Tier stuff. You can always call in and say, hey, I want to get them a gift certificate, or I want to get them a harness, a toy, a bag of food. You can always do that. Right now, it's only in the United States, so they don't do international. So there we go, Rough House. Is Tier going to have an upstairs? Will he party all night long? Most likely he will have an upstairs, and he will be partying all night long. Again, I have to take up welding, so I can actually build the stuff around his current, or his setup when he has 5 cages, and put another 5 cages on top. That's going to be a big expense, but you know what? That's where any revenue that comes in for Tier is going to go back to Tier for that same reason. Why? To me, wild should stay wild. If you need all the help, and then go back to the wild. Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. Oh, all right, we got another couple of minutes. I'm going to try to get to as many questions. Okay, I think we're pretty good on the questions then. Let me see, unplug your laser. That beam is bright. I didn't shine the laser at the phone, which wouldn't have hurt you guys, by the way. Okay, what am I illuminating? Oh, I think you finally saw what I was trying to shine at. If the laser is fully charged, I can get a paper and set it on fire. It pops balloons, which next one I'll pop a balloon with the laser. How's that? If you guys want me to. Where did I get the pointer? I actually got it at a gun and knife show. They had it, you can get them, some are made in Canada. I think it's Laser Pointer Pro. This one is a $3,000 millivolt. So that means so it's a 3-volt laser, but they have to put it in millivolts. All right. Send pictures, can't wait for Tier. Are you getting excited for Tier? Yes, I'm very excited for Tier. So glad you're getting another Fox. How's the foot? Again, foot's okay, it's still attached. I am walking on it. The bones are they didn't fuse, they didn't connect right, so they're loose. I'm just dealing with it. I can walk, that's all I want. I'm trying not to limp, because if you baby that leg, or if I start limping, then I'll start having problems on my other hip, my other leg, and my back. So I'm trying to walk as straight as possible and not limp. So everything is going good. Thanks again for the time, Mr. Noel, and all the great info Foxes in general. Peace. All right, Kirk, say hi to Missy Poodle for me. I still have your address. I'm going to send her a toy soon. Once I go toy shopping for Tier, she's getting a toy in the mail. I have been a dog. I've been doing research on getting a pet fox since high school. I saw Loki and I fell in love. I'm hoping to raise one after graduating college and my life together. Well, that's a good way to look at it. To get your life together, meaning you have a home that you know you can keep the fox at. You have the responsibilities of knowing it's a fox and what it takes. From Tier, you will be seeing what it takes. The Tier experience is going to be what it takes to actually raise a fox from birth. And I'm going to try to even post twice a day on anything that happens, and keep a camera very handy so I can record everything, the good and the bad. Not just look at pretty fox, no, look at my fox, it just did this type of thing. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Am I going to get, sorry, and that was from Ace Jacobs. The one that said, I've been doing research on getting a fox since high school. I saw a Loki video and fell in love. I'm hoping to raise one after graduating college and getting my life together, which is a great idea. Follow the channel, see what I go through, at least with raising TYR, and then see if that's okay with you on what you have to go through. And there's a lot that is behind the scenes of, I like to wake up, for example, with my own company at 10:30 in the morning or 11. Well, guess what? I'm going to have to wake up at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning now because of TYR. It's like having a small child. And still going to sleep at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because that's the time he's going to go to sleep. I got to get him used to sleeping all night, but they'll still be up and they want to play and they want to get into stuff. So it's not, oh, stay in your cage and until I'm ready. No, he's ready. He's priority one. You get up, you play with your fox type of thing. I'm just saying the thinking needed behind it. Am I getting a new camera? Well, I have a GoPro, which has that quick button to turn on. I wanted to get, or if anybody knows who I can reach out to and request a 360 camera. I reached out to a company here in Fort Lauderdale and said, look at my channel. I have over 100,000 subscribers. I get this many views. Can you guys donate a camera to the channel? And by all means, I'll make a whole production of it and promote the channel. Filmed by, this is the channel brand. They never got back to me. And I called and called. I'm going to try them again and see what they say. But I guess they didn't want the free advertisement for a $300 camera. Well, you know what? If that's the case, I don't curse. But I am going to try to reach out to different camera manufacturers that I can do. That's the camera I'm looking for now, a 360 camera that I could probably set up and not keep it filming all the time, but use it to cover everything that's going on, especially when I take TYR for a walk. I would love to have that camera so you can actually see exactly what's going on. So, am I going to get into the camera? No, I have a couple. I have a Rebel, and I have the GoPro, and I have my phone. Phone's the easiest one to turn on and click because I can just upload the video and put a caption on it. With the GoPro, I have to download it, then use I use Vegas Studio Pro, edit it, put the thing. So it's a whole production time to actually make the video. So if I take let's say a 10-minute video, it could easily take me an hour of editing and putting everything together before it even pops up on the channel. So there's a lot of behind the scenes that happens. Or I can just grab my phone, make a video, no splash screen, no nothing. It's like, here, this is happening, and I wanted to record it. So, all right, we're already past the 2-hour mark. I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining. Again, I'll be here next Saturday. Okay, be tracked before I say goodbye again. The Samo 530. Yes, I am. Every time I leave the house, I have a spare phone that works. Hook it up to Wi-Fi, Livestream. There you go. There's going to be a little note. I am not here. Do not, and you guys can talk amongst yourselves, but you'll be looking at TYR when I'm not home. As soon as I get home, Livestream's ending. Unless I pick it up and, hey guys, how you doing? I'm home and stuff like that. But I am going to start doing that. I just got to get it. Let's get TYR here. Let's get TYR acclimated, and then we're going to take it from there. But yes, you guys are going to have a lot more TYR viewing time than with Loki, to where it's going to be a little bit different. I think it's going to be better for the interaction you guys want with the Fox and the media that's going to be out there for the Fox. So yeah, you are going to be seeing a lot of live streams where I'm not even home and just looking at his cage on whatever he does. He might poop, it's nature. So yes, I am going to be doing that. And that was from, Samo 530. Thank you very much for that comment, because yes, I am going to be doing that. All right. Hello, Washington. Bread Bear is in Poland. All right, guys. That's it for this week's live stream. I hope I got everybody's questions answered. Join us again next Saturday, 3 o'clock, again Eastern time, and we'll go over. I don't know what we're going over. It just I play it by ear as the questions pop up. I'm going to try to have an agenda set and a little bit more structure to it. So next week, 3 o'clock Saturday. Hope to see you guys again. Thank you very much for joining, guys. All right. I hope everybody has a great and happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. And if you're in another country, have a great weekend. Okay? Love you guys. Thank you very much.